Hello and welcome to A Cat in the Garden. And today I want to show you guys how the garden outside is looking here in January. It is currently 80 degrees outside here, which I think is absolutely insane. It's literally January. Where I grew up, we'd be in 2 feet of snow right now. So this is wild. I can't believe how well some of my veggies are growing, like this bok choy here. It's literally the size of nutmeg, if not bigger. So without further ado, let me show you all the garden. So these two beds back here are getting an awful lot of shade here in winter, and I didn't really realize that at first, but I do have leeks here. So these are my bigger leeks that I actually planted in early fall. They're getting pretty close to maturity at this point. They're doing really well. And then over here I have a bunch of little baby leeks. They'll probably be ready in about 2 months, I'd say, but they're doing really well. I've got quite a lot of them over here. And then my yarrow that I planted last summer is just taking over. I think I'm honestly gonna have to move it because it's just taking up a big chunk of the bed at this point. And here I just have compost. This was tomatoes over the summer, but I didn't really have anything to put in here, so compost it is for now. Over in this bed, I don't really have too much going on, but I have planted all of my kale. The ones that are doing the best, I think, are my dinosaur kale. They just look really nice, and I can't wait to eat some of it. Unfortunately, the older leaves did get damaged during our freeze in December, but other than that, it's looking pretty good over here. And I just have some plants that I'm hoping will come back, but with all this warmer weather and they still haven't sprouted anything, I really don't think they're going to. Next to that bed, I've got quite a few things going on here. First of all, it's going to be my gorgeous bok choy. The leaves are literally bigger than my hand. I can't believe this plant is doing so well, and it's virtually pest-free, so I'm really happy about that. Next fall and winter, I'm going to be growing a lot more of it. And next to it, I have a broccoli plant, which is doing really well. I haven't grown broccoli before, but I'm pretty happy with this one so far. It hasn't started heading yet, which I think is a good sign, because I think they need to get some size to the plant first before they start heading. And there's a little bit of bug damage on the older leaves, but the newer leaves look good, so I'm happy about that. Over here, I have some garlic. I've got a couple rows of different kinds. Now, these aren't technically rated for our zone, but I'm trying them out anyway because they're close enough. So I've got that going on. And then I have my carrots. Those are getting pretty big. I've got some little ones over here, and then I did plant some more seeds recently, so I'm pretty excited about that. I have some scallions in here. These are a little small, but they will get bigger, and I have some bigger ones down there. And then lastly, over here, I have some radishes that just sprouted. So far, I have 4 of them, I think, so I'm very happy about that. Once they sprout, they only take 3 to 4 weeks to mature, so I'm hoping that I will have a lot of these little guys this spring and summer. Next to it, I have more garlic, and I have some cauliflower down here. Unfortunately, I think it got too hot for this cauliflower and it has separated, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to eat it, but I do have some garlic that is rated for my zone, and I actually think it's doing quite a lot better. It sprouted more quickly, it's bigger. Well, this one's a little bit smaller, but this one especially has been doing really well, so I am happy with that. And then I have my artichokes, which are gaining a lot of size, and I'm really hoping that I get to actually eat some this year. Moving on, I have my Swiss chard. It's a little thirsty right now, and it's kind of recovering from the freeze. It got hit a little bit harder than some of the other vegetables that I had, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be fine. There's a lot of new growth coming up on these guys, especially the yellow one over here. And then I am going to turn this bed into an asparagus bed. So I have my first asparagus plant right here. Next to it, this was my big beautiful peas, but they unfortunately mostly perished in the freeze, except for this little guy. right here. He kind of came out of the stump of the peas, probably out of a different node. So he is alive and well, and I'm hoping he'll get tall enough soon so that I can start wrapping him on the trellis. And then I did buy a new batch of peas. So I just actually planted them yesterday or the day before. So hopefully they will take over as well. I've got my big head of bok choy that I planted earlier than the other one. This is actually a dwarf choy though, so it's not gonna get as big, but it's really nice and compact, and I've actually eaten it before. It's quite flavorful. Then I just have my sad blackberry plant and a salvia, which will hopefully bloom this spring. Over here I have my herb garden, which is really starting to take off, and I can't wait for this to all fill in. I'm really hoping that it's just kind of overflowing eventually. So I have my curly parsley, which is just doing so well, my rosemary, which hasn't grown too much yet, but I'm hoping with the warmer weather it will soon. Some sweet alyssum back there, a couple different varieties of sage, also some thyme. This one actually was sent to me by my mother from her plant back in Pennsylvania, and it survived shipping, it survived being planted in the ground, and is now growing pretty well. And then this one is a German winter thyme, so it's supposed to be a bit more cold hardy. I bought it right before our frost, and it's doing really well. I also have my cute little violas. I call these the Halloween violas. I just love the colors, they're so vibrant. My oregano over here, which I don't know if you'll believe this, but over the summer I bought it as a tiny 3-inch pot, and now it's just taking over. I'm really hoping that it'll get taller this year so that I can actually dehydrate some. And then over here I have my saffron. No flowers yet. I'm hoping that we'll get some soon, but I am really excited about it. It did take really well, rooted super quickly once I got it into the ground, and each bulb has sprouted multiple little shoots, so that's pretty cool. And then lastly, I have some sorrel, some more cute little violas, and some more saffron. Over here with nutmeg, I have some collard greens. They are getting quite big in size, almost the size of my hand for the leaves. And then also in the bed, I planted some spinach seeds just to see what would happen. And since the weather's been really warm, they did sprout. And I am kind of excited to learn more about them and growing them. I really want to grow more leafy greens, but I haven't been the best at it historically. So this will just kind of be a learning experience to see how well they do in a warm winter here. The last bed in my garden is going to be what is my pepper bed, but obviously the peppers are dead right now. The chives are coming back. They took quite a bit of damage during the freeze, but they'll be okay. The savory also is just insane. I think I might have to move it because it's way too big for this bed. The mustard greens, I have never eaten or grown mustard greens before, but I heard they're very good. My husband really likes them, so I decided to just try growing them, and they're doing really well. They were so tiny when I got them. It was like a bunch of plants in one little pot, so I felt I was getting more of a deal. So they're doing pretty well, I'd say. The lettuce that I got is in a little bit of transplant shock right now. I'm gonna give him another drink this evening and he should be okay. The new growth seems to be fine. And then I have more chives here and a little baby kohlrabi over there. And that's about it. That's it for our little garden tour today. If you like this video, make sure to give us a thumbs up down below and subscribe so you don't miss anything else from me and Nutmeg. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.